Patience. It's hard to navigate around because everything is seemingly delivered almost overnight. Actually, it's more like 2 days, thanks to Amazon. So after I return from a show like KBIS, I have hours and hours of content to cull through and produce. I want to share some of my process with you. While there is an overwhelming urge to publish everything right when I get back, I have found that a more deliberate approach to content deployment is more my style. I have actually found it is similar to how many design professionals stage their work on projects. Interesting, and something we will be exploring further in the future. So today, you're going to hear from two incredible designers and longtime friends of the show. While at KBIS, I had the opportunity to speak with Breegan Jane and Kim Gordon. I love these two women. They're not just incredible designers. They're not just good friends, but they're both, I don't know. Do you have people in your life that you can always call, you can always talk? If you don't talk for 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, when you reconnect, it's always the same. You don't miss a beat. And that's how it is for me with Breegan and Kim. Love them, love their work, and I love my conversations with them. And I think you're going to love this as well, because we discussed a number of topics that every working designer today should hear. It's also not just about the work, the business, or trade shows. It's the life lessons from these two of the most honest and authentic people I know. And you're going to hear all about it. First from Kim, then from Breegan, right after this. The most important word in the design industry today is service. Product, incredibly important. Price, important. Selection, incredibly important. But stellar service is the premier idea that can make all the difference in the success of any project. This is how design professionals like you demand great service for your projects. And you get your favorite brands in one place with expert, knowledgeable, and non-commissioned professionals to help you specify the right product for each of your projects and get the best price. Non-commissioned, that is incredibly important. And at Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, that means their only incentive is your satisfaction. Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, has just that with over 60 years of service in Southern California. Pacific Sales is your destination for exploration, advice, inspiration, all the best brands, great prices, the best in the industry when it comes to service, and you know it's reliable. You know that you are going to get predictable results, reliable results every time. And now you have the Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home team to help you with their Pro Rewards program, which is a trade program unlike any you've ever experienced before. Earn 3% in Best Buy e-gift cards or 2.5% in a reward check for every qualified and delivered sale, in addition to special trade pricing, exclusive offers, access to exclusive special events, and so much more that I can't even begin to try and list it all here. And here's the cherry on top. Access to exclusive builder trade incentives from top brands and the stellar service you deserve from a company that has been serving the industry for over 60 years. Now, terms and conditions apply to the Pro Rewards program and builder trade incentives. So visit a Pacific Sales expert at a showroom today for full details and learn how you can unlock additional savings and benefits. Don't miss out on the opportunity to work with the best of the best. Visit Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home today and elevate your projects to new heights. Okay, well, now there is.
Hi, Josh. I'm here at KBIS with you, and it's gorgeous. It's kind of a bummer that it doesn't have a skylight because it is so pretty outside. You know, it's been gorgeous here.
It is. You know what's funny? I left Tulsa last week, and it was like 10 degrees.
Oh my God.
Wind was, -6 with the wind chill. We had 6 inches of snow, and then it was 60 the next day, and then I come to Vegas and it's 90.
Do you watch Tulsa?
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan. I tried. I couldn't understand what was happening. I don't know what he's saying, but it was cute.
You know what it is for me? Being from LA and growing up with media, like LA is always shot. Like every exterior in LA has been shot. You know, everything about, and so there's a certain sense of, it's reality. Like if you're from LA and you see someone filming something downtown and then they get in the car and 5 minutes later they're at the beach, it's like that's bullshit. I mean, that's
I know,
that's
totally
crap.
true. I don't forget, you can also go skiing, and if you really push it, you can also be in Mexico in the same day.
Well, hold on a second. Let me finish the thought. If you're in New York, if you're a New Yorker, right, and you're driving, in New York and you're in Midtown and you can tell certain landmarks in Midtown, you're by Central Park, and then 5 minutes later you're through the Lincoln Tunnel and you're on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
That's bullshit. It's like that's not realistic.
I know.
So for that particular show, it was not realistic. I like Tulsa, I really do, but most people have never seen it, and that was not a real depiction.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
It was just not a good depiction of what the city's like.
Well, I have to visit. You'll have to visit.
And it made it I feel like it made it very rednecky. And that's one of the things that really bothers me is like Tulsa has been very, very good. Like I like Tulsa. It's a good city.
And it has a good business program. Like they actually kind of feed into the business. I seem to remember seeing some ads, about like bring your business to Tulsa.
Yeah.
So and there you are, bringing your business.
And I did. And it's been great.
And here you are.
And here I are.
At KBIS.
Are you having fun?
I am actually having fun. I'm really surprised. There's so much to see, though. Honestly, I think, if you don't mind me interrupting, you know how bad I am. I do want to say that next year I think I'm going to have a table that's going to have Crocs and things for your feet, because half the people here end up taking all their shoes off.
Okay. I have an idea. It's funny because you came up to me. You and I did a panel yesterday, which I absolutely loved. It was just so much fun.
Yes.
I just love our engagement. I really do. And you asked me when you rolled up today, you were like, what's missing in design?
Yeah.
And I thought that was that's a brilliant question, and one that we don't ask enough. We always like, well, what do people want? Well, they want what everyone else wants because they see it on social media. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But you asked what's missing, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I have a thought for you, because I think this is missing.
Ooh.
There needs to be a training program before every one of these events.
Oh my goodness, that is so smart.
Like an actual look, honestly,
it's huge. You can't find, I was just now to see you, the taxi driver, they don't know where to drop you off. I was all the way in the back and I'm racing through, tripping over everyone's stocking feet.
But I'm going to give you a couple of different, and I want your take on this.
I'm listening.
So in 2 days, 3 days, how many miles do you think you walked?
I can look at my phone. I got my little heart.
Yeah, but guess.
I don't know, 5,000, 500. I mean, really, how many? I can't even imagine. All you do is walk.
So
I know that I had 22,000 steps the first day.
Yeah. On average, how many times during the week do you have 22,000 step days?
Never.
How many times a month do you have 22,000 step days? Or how many times in a quarter do you have 22? Mm-hmm. So the point is, like, if you're training to run a 10K.
Yeah.
Because if you're here and you're walking 6.2 miles in a day, that's a 10K.
Yeah.
So if you're training for a 10K, you're going to be on a 13-week training program, assuming that you're already a runner.
Right.
So imagine you don't ever walk this much, but you come out here. Now you want to look good, so you're wearing your heels, or you bring new shoes here.
Yeah, that's the first day.
Bringing new shoes here to KBIS or to High Point, that's a rookie mistake.
And also, it's very large. Not just this venue, but where the hotels are located, and then the restaurants and the taxis. Have you checked out the taxi situation here?
What's a taxi?
Yeah, exactly. There's lines of like 100. It looks almost like they're looking to get some Springsteen tickets or something.
I'm sorry. What is a taxi?
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, are you taking Ubers here?
Oh, listen, please.
That's another thing. You
please don't get me started on this, because I took the Metro Rail. So I did
the
monorail. The monorail.
Uh-huh.
Let me just preface this by saying that I am a fan of the monorail. I like the monorail. I like that they have it. I like what Las Vegas did with it. But if you're going to do something like that, and you've got 100,000 people coming to town for an event, put more cars on the tracks. When you have a line that's going all the way down the escalator at the end of the day,
it's crazy.
so you have to wait, and then you say, well, I'll just take an Uber. Oh, no, you won't, because everyone else who's not on the monorail is taking an Uber, so the wait to get one is equally long.
You're absolutely right.
So I feel like, what do you think about a training program? Like, we're gonna start. How about this?
Oh my god! Go.
What if I put episodes together? Like, here's the Kim Gordon episode. It's a 30-minute conversation. Go on a 4-mile walk while you listen to the episode, and then we're going to do this, 3 or 4 times a week, 3 or 4 weeks before KBIS. By the time you get here, you're ready to go.
Yes, that's awesome. What a great idea.
What do you think about that?
I think that's so awesome. And their maps aren't good here either. They have what they call an interactive map, but it doesn't tell you where you are, so it doesn't help. So you're literally looking like in front of whatever it is, XYZ, and then you're looking for. It is huge. You actually do. The other thing when people think, oh, I'll just be there for a day or two. No, you got to be here for the entire time.
I'm glad you said that, because this event. So KBIS is NKBA does a remarkable job. KBIS is a mission critical event, is it not?
Absolutely, 100%.
You have to come
to
this.
Do you know Carrie Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were with her last night as well.
Love her.
I know, she's so funny. I got her up there, by the way. I ended up getting, and I have photos to prove it, and if Carrie's listening, girl, you know what you look like.
Carrie, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, she knows.
I have nothing to do with this.
I got her and her husband, Vincent. I'm like, get up here. We were up on top of this thing.
I'm so distancing myself right now.
Oh, my God, we had the best time. She's really funny. There was something interesting. I'm not sure if you're going to have to edit this out, but this is interesting.
I don't edit. Don't say it.
Okay, so never mind. Millet wasn't here.
Oh.
Millet was not on the floor.
Oh.
They did something where they decided to throw themselves a party off-site at this really cool venue, and they felt like KBIS is so massive and it is expensive, obviously, to go here, and the sets are very expensive, and they were really thinking, how do I really zero in on my audience? And they had it off-site and had like a huge event there. It was actually kind of cool.
Was it part of KBIS?
I mean, no, it's during KBIS, though. So one of the night events was going to see them, and I have to tell you, the most important part about that was that there was a raffle, Josh. And I won, believe it or not, I never win anything, and I won a trip to the East Coast. Oh, yeah. Millet is sending me to the East Coast, and just only because I had a little ticket. It was a raffle.
No,
so happy.
Congratulations.
I'm so psyched. It's kind of this cool hippie farm thing, like farm to table wine. It's an Alberge. Is that what it's called? How do you say it? Alberge, the resorts.
Oh,
Wildflower Farms.
Wow! Congratulations.
I'm so psyched.
But here's the thing.
They don't know what they have coming.
Here's the thing, though. I think that's an interesting point. I don't think that. Look, from a business standpoint, I don't necessarily agree with that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a conversation.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
that you piggyback on the timeline because everyone's going to be there, and then you try to pull from what else is. I don't know that I don't agree with that.
I know.
I don't think that's right, because I think it's an interesting point, and I think that there will always be people who try to do certain things like that. But
you know why it's interesting, Josh, is because it is a huge brand. They did this. This must, I don't know how much these booths are, but that's Millet, right? So that was them coming out and doing this. And I don't know what to say. I mean, I really like those people. I love the product, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge brand.
Sure.
And it was just an interesting talking note, like what they did.
I really do think you bring up a really good point, because, and initially when you said that to me, you're like, what's missing in design? And by the way, I do love that, and I think that you and I just sort of created something here that I want to do together.
Oh yeah, great.
I want to have this conversation on a regular basis, because I think it's really, really important. I think that coming to a show like KBIS, yeah, it's big, but that's why you come here. And yes, it's hard to get attention, but that's on you.
That's right.
Work harder. Work smarter. Speak to the people that you want to speak in the place where they are, and support the industry.
There's so much cool stuff, so many people coming from different places. I mean, and they have to have their act pretty together if they're out here, spending the money and being on the floor.
Yeah.
They have to really, it's not like you're just going to some, nothing companies,
Yeah, 100%.
We found some cool stuff that we didn't expect.
Yeah. Well, listen, surprise and delight. That is, to me, that is what makes a show special.
That's right.
And every show is different because you can't say, look, I'm not a designer. I say it all the time.
I don't believe you.
But it's
by the
true.
way.
But listen, I don't want to hear from anybody. Personal opinion. Here's a disclaimer. Don't get mad at me. It's just the way I feel.
It's your podcast. You're fine. Keep
just
going.
the way I feel. I don't want to hear from anybody. Well, I went to KBIS last year, so I'm not going to go this year.
Yeah.
This year I'm going to go to High Point because I didn't go last year. It's like, you know what? This is your job.
That's
this is
right.
your industry. This is your profession. It is your career. It is what you do. You go every year because there are going to be things that you don't see. And when people say, well, but I can't go everywhere all the time, totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prioritize.
But this is the one.
This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that you go to every year because you're going to see everyone you want to see. You're going to get business done. You're going to see. Isn't that why you come here?
Yes, absolutely. That and good restaurants. I have to say, I know. Look at your face. Josh is making a face. But there are really good restaurants here. In other words, I guess what I'm saying is, yes, it's an event because you're coming here, and there is a culture here, which is kind of fun and different from whatever. I mean, I don't know. But learning the places and spending the time here, I do think it should be open later, though, right? It closes at 5.
Yeah.
And although you are exhausted, at the end of the day, literally, you are dragging.
Yeah, but
dying.
I just think that's the convention center. I don't think you have an option. I don't think.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I don't think.
You know what the other thing is? If you have anxiety, or you're somebody that's like crowds, or anything like that, or you get sensory stimuli, it's tough.
Well,
so to be fair to some people, I'm saying.
But I also think that if you're the principal designer of Kim Gordon Designs, right?
I don't know. You have to ask Julia.
No, I'm going somewhere. I promise you.
Okay. Yes, of course. Yes, sir. My name.
How many of your people are in the RV?
Are what?
Are in the RV?
Right now, the RV. Right now, they're actually looking at some more items, and we parked the RV illegally after making a U-turn and getting yelled at in the back. It was a bit of a badass
Kim,
situation.
I knew
with the RV.
I asked a terrible question.
All right, so
and
I'm sorry. Be direct. I can go off.
My question was, how many people do you have working for you?
Oh, excuse me. I only have. Well, you know what? I've done a big tightened up thing, and I've been farming out work. It's been really, really interesting.
I don't think farming out work.
3 people, though. There's 3 of us.
But wait a minute. I don't think farming out people is not having people working for you.
Right.
They're still working for you.
Of course.
They're just working for you on a different timeline.
And they have to. A lot of times when you have employees and you're sitting there at work and they're sort of stuck to the desk, I have to tell the girls, get out, go to the PDC. Oh, look, there's a show there. Go to a gallery. You have to keep your mind fresh in design. And I don't just mean looking at toilets over at the show. I mean being stimulated by fashion and getting out and going to the shows and taking advantage of your city, of what it's offering, just to kind of, just to stay fresh and creative.
Oh my gosh, and another thing. Here's the
thing.
God,
we're bouncing off each other, Josh.
I'm loving this. What's missing in design? It's funny, like Kim Gordon of Kim Gordon Designs, I don't think you have to be here. You want to be here.
Of course.
No, but as a firm, you can have a representative come for you with a task list.
I don't think you can. I have to tell you.
You don't think so?
I mean, I'd like to. I'd like to be able to trust that person, but that person would have to be like something that came out of me, like a left arm. Because and also sometimes I look at something and I think, oh my, not just for clients, but it spins your mind into something else. Oh my God, I never thought that I could have a blue resin bathtub. Like, who ever heard of this? And little things like that you never would have thought of. And I'm not entirely sure that the principal designer doesn't need to go. Excuse me, I had spoken to another designer recently, and she said, well, how is it when you go, or the person had asked us, how does it feel when you go to the different showrooms? And she said, I don't go to showrooms anymore. And I really thought I kind of had, oh, okay. But you really have to. It is your name. And maybe I'm very custom and we're very small and we keep a tight business and I'm not crazy with a lot. But I do think that it also as human beings that in your field to really stretch so that you're always fresh and always doing something new. I learned some crazy stuff here today at this trip.
What are some of the your favorite things that you picked up here?
The first thing is these bathtubs that I just mentioned. It's actually in this room, and I never saw it before. They're blue. They're almost like remember
the translucent ones.
Yes, have you seen it? Yeah. It's kind of trippy, right? And at first I was like, no, and then I was looking at it again, going, I don't know. Like if you had a cute rental or like maybe an ADU and it's just the amber one, there's some tacky ones. I don't want my version of tacky. I don't know. But I'm just saying it is kind of a nice little celebration in like a guest room where you're not going to use it all the time or something. There is something, I don't necessarily want to see myself naked through a tub, okay? I just, even if it does have pink rosy color to make me look suntanned, I still don't think it's really worth it. But anyway, I thought it was kind of cool. My mind is blown. And that's actually another point, right? To your point about walking and having a lesson or whatever, is I forgot a lot of it. To have the understanding about taking a photo, and this is what happens. You take a photo and you believe that you're going to go through these photos in the future. You need to take the photo of what you like. You have to put your hand in it so you get scale and color. Then you have to take the card or the name of the company with the name of the human that you were just talking to next to that photo in your sets of photos. The amount of cards and stuff and booklets that you could carry at these things is enough to break your back. Like you just need to bring somebody with you or a babushka or something and walk around with a big
babushka. No, but
I'm Polish, right? So I kind of feel like I'm out here with the potato. I just have all this.
But in all seriousness, I do. So it's an interesting idea and it's a novel concept. But back to the original point, is this is a show that should be mandatory on an annualized basis. And I would like to see. You know what I would like to see, and I'm wondering if you think this would work. So ASID, for example, or
yes.
an organization, whether you're a member or not.
Yeah.
But. Are you a member of ASID? You are.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Ask Julia.
So if you're an ASID member and you have requirements for CEUs, I would like to see if they made it possible so you get your CEU credits by coming to the show.
So smart, Josh.
You've got your badge. You demonstrate that you've been here.
Yes.
Listen. If you come to this show, you should get CEU credits towards any requirement that you may have.
That is a great motivational factor. And that actually has me thinking now about students in school. There's so many conversations. What school should I go to? What about interior design school? And Josh, you should see the letters I get from recent graduates. These girls, people, gentlemen that write me really need a lesson in how to write. We send out these letters like, hello, Miss, Kim Gordon, and it's a different font because they just keep sending it. And then they just write this dissertation about how nice a kitchen is and how important it is. It's kind of maybe what they got to them in school, but they don't know how to really zero in, look at you know what I'm saying, right?
Not only do I know what you're saying, but that exact point is I just had a conversation in the KBIS podcast studio presented by AJ Madison. I'm so thankful for them. I had a conversation, and one of the style editors for Lux was participating. We were talking about the pitch, how to get a pitch, and what a pitch is like, and how do you get your pitch to published. And some of the pitches I get for people to be on the show are just horrendous.
I don't know but I do, going back to your point about taking lessons, if that's the right thing, I really think there's a huge need also in the schools, but even as a program that maybe you could create, talking to potential students or people who are interested in design. You remember when we were younger, and you'd be like, I want to be a veterinarian. And then you're my dad, for instance, I want to be a veterinarian. My dad would say, well, you better work there. Go work for a veterinarian place. And I would like, oh, okay, I guess so. So then I work there, and I'm like, oh, no. Number one, I got some crazy bug that was in my eyelashes or something. It was the weirdest thing. And then, they're putting dogs down. There's families crying. And then, it's just dirty. It was a whole thing. And as much as I still love dogs, I ain't got to be no veterinarian, it turns out. But you got to be there. There's a huge conversation. And you have these people that are writing us saying, hey, I'll work for free for you. It'll be so much fun. But they don't talk about that. They just talk about how great they are in this. But they didn't do the research to find out, hey, Kim Gordon, when you did that project X, it was really nice the way that you did Y. Whatever it is, and you go, oh, okay. And I was looking at your social media. I think I could really help there because I have a great camera, or I don't know, like anything like that. I would be like, oh my God, this is incredible. No one is at least I can only say for myself that people are not doing that. Now, along with that, if you get a 35 or older, now this is me being an old lady, but you get somebody older who's been in the field for a long time, they know this, right? So how do we tell our Utes to what's a Ute?
Did you say Utes?
What's a Ute? Do you remember?
Mr. Gambini,
Did you say utes?
Yeah, what's a ute?
Oh my God.
What are you talking about? I'm not a ute. Anyway, sorry. Here we go. I'm just telling you right now, Okay, so here we are.
I love that. All right.
Oh, you know what else? Barbecues are super interesting. The outdoor barbecue situation.
Listen.
There's all this new research. Oh, and then you saw Jen Air. Did you see Jen Air with the new sucking thing that's included in it? Has their exhaust. It sucks under. It is have you seen it?
No.
Oh, you have to go. Jen Air has this brand new way that they're sucking the air.
This is UL rated outdoor.
This is what?
Outdoor?
No, I'm sorry. I switched from outdoor.
Oh, that's indoor.
But that's a good point, though. But yes, so number one, outdoor has been amazing. There's a lot of really high-end barbecue grills and et cetera. There's cool lighting now for barbecue grills. There's a lot of good refrigeration. There's a lot of cool stuff. And then, next subject, Jen Air, the way that their exhaust system for the food is located on top, and that was interesting.
Well, and listen, it's we had a conversation last night also about.
Me and you?
No. in the podcast studio. About outdoors and what's being done by creatives for outdoor spaces.
Yes.
Oh, I got a question for you.
Ooh.
Will you take on the outdoor kitchen, or do you leave because it's past the threshold? Do you leave that to? Do you leave that to the landscape architect?
I'm very proud to say that Los Angeles Magazine named me the best does-it-all designer.
Interesting.
I know, and the reason is because I am a huge landscape outdoor person. And when I hire the landscaper, I work with one in particular that I adore, Carlos, but I bring landscapers into the house with their mucky boots at the door, but we walk around and go, I need to see how this is. Like, you're sort of looking, because my job is what is my POV even out the windows, especially in Los Angeles. That whole idea, bringing the outdoors in and all that, it's imperative, I think.
That was my conversation with Kim Gordon live at KBIS. Love that. Next up, you're going to hear from Breegan Jane right after this. At the highest level of design, the absolute best specifying designers, architects, landscape designers are all highly focused on the technology and performance of products and materials today. You have to, because the products you specify for your projects have to perform and they have to last. That's one of the reasons why I am so proud to be working with TimberTech. Their focus on the technical renaissance of synthetic decking is literally changing the conversation about innovation and performance. It pulls focus on three priorities homeowners have and expect from the products their designers and architects specify for their luxury projects. 1. Aesthetics must match the overall design and fit visually. 2. Durability and maintenance. I've told you about my board flipping stories from my own wood decks. Clients not only want beauty, but they want ease of use, and they want it to last for decades. 3, sustainably made. Clients are more conscious of the environment now, and they want the same of their materials. TimberTech hits each one of these elements with a product that not only meets expectations, they exceed them. TimberTech makes a synthetic decking that looks just like wood, color and embossed wood grain for a natural appearance. Their composite decking is technologically superior, as it has been created to last for decades, and it's manufactured with up to 85% recycled material. Their advanced PVC, vintage, and landmark collections have a Class A flame spread rating, making these products an amazing choice for wildfire-prone areas, which unfortunately continues to grow on the risk map. Check the show notes for more information about this and to find the nearest showroom or lumberyard where you can find TimberTech, or you can check them out directly, timbertech.com. The Design Hardware Showroom is a space where specifiers can go and find an incredible selection of high-end faucets, luxury tile, natural stone, wood floors, and bespoke hardware, and so much more. Select products are presented in a holistic manner, strategically arranged to stimulate creativity and transition your vision from the conceptual stage to a fully realized space. You will find everything you're looking for, even the products by brands you didn't know. Surprise and delight. Am I right? All under one roof on 3rd Street in Los Angeles, just up the street from the Grove. Conveniently located, free parking available. Stop by to find inspiration, collect samples, get expert advice, and tackle everything on your specification list all in one place. Visit them online at designhardware.com, at Design Hardware and Flooring on the socials, or in the real world, 6053 West 3rd Street in Los Angeles. Breegan, Jane.
Hello.
You know what I was thinking about?
Tell me.
You are a longtime friend.
Yeah.
You were a longtime friend of the show. And I don't remember exactly when it was, but we've known each other over a decade.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. And you were one of the first. I mean, you came on the show in one of the first couple of years.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And one of the most enjoyable things for me is to see how creators change over time.
Yeah.
Like you can see some the what is it? The days are long and the years are short.
1,000%. And these are long days.
They are long days.
And the years have been short. Like I told somebody earlier, oh, that was last year. They were like, that was 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And it is extraordinary to see what you have done with your career.
Thank you.
With your brand. You have a very solid sense of self, and you have since we first met. But what you've done with your brand to build a brand around that sense of self, I think is just absolutely extraordinary. And I don't know that we've ever really talked about I know the why.
That part of it, the brand part.
I know the why, but I don't know the how.
The how, I think, is the ability to stay resilient and to keep changing and not give up. I think there's times where you are the most popular girl at the table in our industry, and then there's times where people forget about you and there's a shiny new penny. And one of the things that I've made sure to do is stay consistent regardless and continue to always be in the process of putting out content. And when I think you do that with consistency, it helps build that brand image, but it's emotionally difficult. And I've seen so many people try, get a few years in, and give up in that moment where the output is not bringing in the same input.
How has that affected the business?
Well, my business has changed 1,000 times because of opportunity. When I started, I was client heavy. And then as I developed, TV took a lot of that opportunity to handhold away, and I had to completely pivot. I didn't anticipate that. I didn't know how difficult that would be. And then as TV changes and we get into streamers and opportunities go large, I'm so grateful to be on 14 plus shows, but there was never the headliner show. And so building the brand, coming out with the book, it's led into licensing, and it just has evolved into its own thing.
It's amazing. And it's also a matter of putting yourself in the right place at the right time. I remember I think it was 2017. I had a year of no.
Right.
Where I was not going to say no to anybody or anything.
Yep.
I did everything.
Yep.
So I guess it would be a year of yes, but
Yeah.
but I didn't say no to, and hey, do you want to do this? Yes. Do you want to do that? Yes. Can you take this? Yes. Do you want to talk to this person? Yes.
Yep.
I made a determination at the beginning of the year that I'm going to talk to everybody, I'm going to do everything, I'm going to go everywhere. It was an expensive year.
Yes.
It was a year that I spoke to people that maybe some weren't necessarily right for the show.
Yeah.
And I learned that too, but those were great lessons to learn. But you know what it did? It did what you're talking about, and it set me up for what was next.
Well, and sometimes you have to take risks to relationship build. So much of my yeses might not seem, they don't make sense to the outside public, but to me, what really matters are the relationships I'm building, and I think what people think about me, what is my reputation. And so as long as my yes is backed with my ability to do follow through, and I believe that the partner is doing the same thing, I'm always more of a yes girl than a no girl. Through experience, though, unfortunately, you open yourself up to not positive experiences. And that's where no's now can come in, but they're purposeful, they're thought out, they're not because I don't have time or I'm not cool, but I want them to get something out of this and I want me to get something out of this, and I now know a little bit better on where I can create those partnerships with authenticity.
And what's amazing too is I think a lot of designers, at least a lot that I have spoken to in the past, don't really think about what's next. They think about the jobs they have now, the projects they have now, the clients they have now, the relationships they have now, the opportunities they have now, but not what's coming next.
Yeah.
And for you, you're...
I lived a year ahead. You should see my schedule. It's like, it's already into January of 26. I mean, I know what I'm going to be doing on specific weeks in December already. And my life has been that way for like quite a bit now.
Hello. Giovanni. Excuse me. My name is Constitution Frederick, and
This is interesting.
Great value.
Yeah,
Multi-clerical.
yeah, for sure. 100%. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Yeah,
With Walmart. My question with Walmart.
yeah,
Shelfing.
yeah.
Great product.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Nutritional facts, same products.
Hey, you know what? I totally get that. Hold that thought. Let me get right back to you on that. Yeah? Cool. Thank you.
I gotta go register.
Okay.
But I just wanted to stop and
Thank you.
get over the idea of those terrible numbers with the Chevron gas station.
Yeah. Yeah.
Murphy's.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
I got you. We'll
Thank
pick it up
you.
later.
Thank you.
Yeah, Giovanni.
you.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah.
See, you're amazing.
I
love the way you just handled that. You were just like, aha. And this is what I mean by the resilience. It doesn't just leak into your contracts, your pivoting. When you're in the middle of an interview and a homeless guy on drugs walks up and starts talking to you about shelf life and Chevron gas, you just go, but can you hold that a second? And you do it politely and kindly. That is the power of knowing yourself and having that resilience.
Do you know what's really interesting? I know that I'm not that important.
Oh, but you are.
No. Hear me out.
Okay.
I am important to people in my life.
Yeah.
But I'm not more important than anybody else. And the reason I say that is because you have an absolutely beautiful spirit. You really do. I think I've learned more from the people who I've had on the show than I believe they've learned from me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
I had the mom radio show for like years, and I really used that as my own personal education in becoming a mom and felt like I was getting so much out of it.
Yeah.
But that's a trick I use a lot on days where I feel overwhelmed, especially when I'm showing up to set. There's a lot of individuals, and I am the one that's supposed to be in the spotlight that everybody's looking at. And so when I can't find my motivation, I go, just make the people who are there feel good.
Yeah.
And it's genuine because I have grown up in Hollywood. I know how hard the sound guy works. I know how hard it is to grip. I know that industry. And so I make it less about me and more about who can I touch today to feel seen and heard and listened to and appreciated, because that's all I'm really wanting. So if I'm not feeling like I'm getting it, I give it.
Yeah, I love that, and that's what keeps it exciting, and that's what I don't know about you, but that's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
What motivates you?
I think for me, I always wanted to be the motivation for others, and so when I'm pushing myself, it's typically because I want to prove to anyone else that they can do whatever they want. And if I do it, then I have to believe it, and they have to believe it too. And I think women, and especially minority women, I didn't have a lot of those role models that looked like me or were powerful and strong. And so when I am my best self, it's less for me and more for the girl that I can influence to be her best weird self. Because I think I'm a little weird.
In the best possible way.
Yes.
Because it would be so boring if you weren't.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, no, I know that, and it's funny. And while we were talking, I was thinking about some of the times and some of the conversations that we've had. And you know what's amazing is when you set up, right?
Yeah.
You know how to address the microphone. You know where your best lighting is. you know the spot.
Right.
You're in high heels, but
And I keep shifting.
You got the T, but when you shift on the same spot. Right. So that you're not moving off, you're just shifting weight, which is a tip and trick that only people who have been on TV or video or who have done a lot of recording understand.
Yeah.
But it's so important because if you can make it easier for the crew that's shooting you, that gets back to producers.
Yep.
And they always want to work with you.
Yeah. And I think that I am a team player. You know, I started my first business really in retail. I mean, we started modeling way before that. But I remember that if I needed the staff inside my store to help me refold a stack, the better way was to go over and start folding it myself. And I still find that's the best way to communicate needs and to just help people and lean in and do it. You can't wait for other people. And I'm lucky that what I do and what I've learned has all culminated and come together to help me in this career and brand that I've built.
What's next for you? And I don't mean here are the projects I have and here's the next show and and maybe this is a little manifestation, I don't know, but what would you like the next iteration of Breegan Jane to be?
You know, it's interesting you say that because part of it I really want to focus on parenting right now. I have a 9 and 11-year-old child. They have seen my business grow, but I want to create more room in my life to spend time with them before they're 16, 17, 18 and over me. And so cultivating that right now from a personal standpoint is really important, and giving my career the space to do that, and also the permission to go, it's okay if we don't hustle hard for the next 4 years. We can hustle again real hard in 4 years when they're out driving and want nothing to do with mom.
And you know what's so great about that too? And I love that as the father of 2 college students.
Yeah.
Days are long, years are short, goes by fast.
Yeah, and I bet now you have all the time to do all the things you need to, but they're not coming back home and you can't get those years back.
Absolutely, but it's interesting too, circling back to you to Breegan as designer, right? If I have young kids or I'm a young family and I'm looking to hire a designer, I want to work with someone who understands, doesn't just tell me that they're going to design for my kids, but knows how to design for my kids.
Well, and I think from the design perspective too, it's leaning back into that lifestyle portion. I've really been Breegan the designer, Breegan designer homes, Breegan designer products, but lifestyle always has been a part of my brand. And so I think as I go through this, that authenticity is going to take a new shape and chapter, maybe molding back in my roots of the mom radio show, because it is genuine. I am insatiably curious and I want to be the best mom I can be, but I am limited just like everybody else, but I will give you my best tips and tricks. So although it doesn't have a purpose or an outlet or a thing right now, I'm interested to see what it does to the Breegan Jane brand over the next 4 years from a lifestyle branding perspective.
And here's what's really interesting too, the nature of design has become exponentially, I don't want to call it more important because it was important before.
Yeah.
But it has been more recognized for its importance and for the superpowers that designers possess.
How much it fills our soul.
Yeah.
Or is stripping it away because you're just overwhelmed and your space is not serving you. Yeah, I really like that sort of shift into wellness, that shift into the why, that reconnection to nature. You know, the Martha Stewart's been telling us for years, grow a garden. We're finally listening, and I think it's my turn to learn how to grow a garden.
some of the conversations that you and I have had in the past. I remember when we first met, we were talking about these huge projects in Bel Air.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
And it's really interesting because I remember at the time talking about the number of bedrooms and the number of bathrooms, but you always had this concept of what you were going to do as far as the experiential nature of design beyond what that was.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if that has given you the ability to take what you've learned from large, vast, expensive spaces and being able to apply those same principles to a kid's bedroom.
1,000%. And even to small apartments, even to my philanthropic work when it comes to building schools, really the ability to ask the why, take out the knowledge. We're all living on the same earth with the same materials, regardless of your ability to spend $1 bajillion on a brand new kitchen or put the few dollars of your every last savings into creating something better than what you have. And I think that knowledge and the use of that budget and those materials and those choices typically has the same through line. It doesn't change. Just what you're able to decorate with changes. But home is home for everybody, no matter how big or small it is.
What does home mean to you?
I think for me, it's very much a safe space with people you love that cultivates your growth in life. I'm an adopted child, you know this, and so home is so significant because shared blood wasn't what my family had. We had a home, and I grew up in a home, and I was adopted before birth. It's the only home I've ever known, but home was family, and home for me and my life and how I grew up, I had a creative mom who was into everything. My dad was always very supportive, and we would have conversations at the dinner table. Like having that and then getting older in life and realizing what an advantage that gave me because I was able to be myself, I'm like, everybody should have a home, not just a house.
Tell me about your philanthropic work.
So I do mainly anti-FGM work in Kenya, which is very difficult topic to talk about, but what we're trying to do is give girls in Kenya equal rights compared to their male counterpart. So they're typically not in school, they're typically married off, there's a ceremonial, horrific sort of thing that happens. But what we do is give them and show them their potential locally. So all of my work is implemented by people in Kenya. It is developed by them. It is their thoughts, but they need our support in funding the boarding schools, in coming in and facilitating these conversations and questions. And it's amazing because where we've worked, I've been in this work for years, and so we're constantly expanding to new regions, but then can look back on the regions we've worked in. The regions we've worked in where they have stopped underestimating women, the whole town is like night and day in a matter of 5 years. And I'm talking about the economic growth, the animals, the families, the joy. It's like springing a well in the desert. It is the strangest thing, but also so beautiful how much just that one thing, saying, stop underestimating women and give them an opportunity, see what they can do, how like the whole community thrives. And so, yeah, like I said, I want to show any girl, you can do it.
And I love that. I really do. And by the way, if you're listening, well, if you can hear me, of course you're listening. Check the show notes. We're going to get a link from Breegan so that you can see her philanthropic work and what she does, as well as being able to contact her. Listen, one of the things that I love most about our conversations and about our relationship is that I consider you a friend. And I love having these conversations because there's never been any topic off limits. We've talked about gender in design and how you approach it. You were there for one of my most uncomfortable moments in my entire career.
What was it?
But it pushed me. The panel at West Edge.
Oh, yes.
About diversity in design.
Yep.
You know what's interesting about that? You talk about working and pushing, and we had that conversation in what was it? It was October of 2019.
I think so. It was at West Edge.
Yeah, West Edge 2019. And George Floyd was murdered later, May of 2020.
I'm not good at dates.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it was 2020, and then this podcast aired. That episode aired on June 20. But the thing was, it was weird to approach the conversation.
Yeah.
But unless you have conversations like that, you can't evolve, you can't advance, you can't progress.
Yep.
And having people like you who said, yeah, you know what, I'll have that conversation.
And also, but you and the openness, it's like I have a friend whose daughter has special needs, and I work with Best Buddies a lot. And so it was just an interesting way for me to try to approach an openness and an honestness and a curiosity. Obviously her first child and experience with it, and I went out on a limb and I asked some questions and I said some things. But I think when you are curious authentically and you are supportive, it just opens the world up. Like, the last thing we need is division. It is okay to ask questions. It was like she told me that, her baby was going to have Down syndrome, and I said, congratulations. Do you know that, statistically, you will be one of the happiest families in the world? That is a statistic with families with kids with Down syndrome. My cousin growing up had Down syndrome, so I have a little bit of knowledge from a family perspective, and she was like, you're the only person who said congratulations. And it's just like, but I mean it. But I almost hesitated on saying congratulations because I didn't want to be rude, because it's not my experience in the world. It isn't something I've had to deal with. But that doesn't mean we can't support each other and ask difficult questions. And this baby is the love of my life. She is amazing. I only have 2 boys, so she comes over and she visits me. And it's just so nice, I think, when we are all held with love and understanding.
And if you ever are feeling down and you want to smile,
right,
just go talk to them for 5 minutes.
1,000%. 1,000%. So I don't know. I think we all have abilities that others can see in us sometimes. And it's nice to be recognized for the push through that we all have to make to get to those abilities, whether it be diversity or any difficult topic. Having somebody say, I see you, makes you feel more capable.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
It is so great catching up with you. Thank you for doing this.
Always. Thank you.
Thanks, Breegan.
I love you.
Love you. Love, love, love. Amazing. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Breegan. Thank you to all my partner sponsors, TimberTech, Pacific Sales and Design Hardware. Amazing companies and great friends to the trade and of the show. So please give them an opportunity for your next project. And thank you for listening, subscribing to the show, and sharing it with your colleagues. If not already subscribing, please consider doing so that you receive every new episode automatically to your podcast feed. I would also ask that you reach out. I love hearing from you. I really do. With show suggestions, guest suggestions, ideas. Maybe you want me to come to your town. Maybe you want me to come to your event. Let me know. I love hearing from you. So Convo by Design at Outlook.com and on Instagram at Convo by Design with an X. Until next week, thank you for sharing this time together. I'm grateful and appreciative. Until the next episode, be well, stay focused. And again, now that it has arrived in earnest, try to rise above the chaos.